Do you know what becomes beautifully clear only after you turn 60? It's something almost impossible to see when you're younger, something hidden beneath the rush of responsibilities, the noise of expectations, and the constant pressure to keep up. But once you reach this season of life, life begins to reveal its deeper truths. You start to understand what really matters, what never did, and what you wish you had known years earlier. It's as if the world slows down just enough for you to finally hear your own heart. And in that quiet space, wisdom, true, lived, soul-deep wisdom, finally speaks. Before we begin, if you're enjoying the gentle reflections and uplifting messages here on Golden Life Inspirations, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating warm, meaningful content for seniors across the United States and around the world, but only if it feels right to you. Do you know what many people discover after 60? That life is not a race, it's a long walk. And for years, most of us walk too fast. We rush through young adulthood, eager to prove ourselves. We hurried through parenting, juggling work and family. We sped through our 40s and 50s trying to stay afloat. But then one day, somewhere in your 60s, you realize that slowing down isn't losing speed. It's gaining clarity. It's noticing the sunlight on the leaves, the warmth of a morning cup of tea, the softness in someone's voice when they say, "I'm glad you're here." You realize that the small, quiet things were actually the big things all along. And as you reflect, you may also notice something else: the value of peace. Not the kind that life gives you, but the kind you learn to create within yourself. When you're younger, it feels natural to care about people's opinions, to worry about being liked, to stress over mistakes or imperfect moments. But past 60, there's a gentle shift. You begin to understand that peace isn't found in other people's approval. It's found in accepting yourself. You recognize the strength in letting go of old grudges, old regrets, old guilt. You realize that forgiveness isn't about saying the past was okay. It's about saying you deserve to move forward. There's a heart-deep lesson in realizing that you can love people without losing yourself, that you can walk away without anger, that you can stand alone without feeling lonely. Because somewhere along the way, you discover that your own company is finally enough. And that is a beautiful kind of freedom. Another truth that becomes clearer after 60 is how little material things truly mean. You may remember a time when a new car felt exciting, a new house felt impressive, or expensive things seemed important. But with age, memories become the real treasure. The laughter around the dinner table, the long talks on the porch, the tiny hands of grandchildren reaching for yours, the conversations you had when you were too tired to pretend, too honest to hide, too present to rush. Those are the things that stay. Those are the things that rise in value as the years go by. And maybe you've also realized something deeply comforting. You don't have to have everything figured out to live a good life. In your 60s and beyond, you finally understand that no one ever truly has it all together. Everyone has doubts. Everyone has fears. Everyone has moments when they don't know what comes next. And somehow, this realization doesn't make life scarier. It makes it gentler. It reminds you that you've survived every difficult moment so far. You've handled everything life has thrown your way. And you're still here, still learning, still growing, still becoming. Do you know what else shifts after 60? The meaning of time. You start to value time differently, not as something to outrun or fill endlessly, but as something precious. You savor mornings more. You protect your peace more. You choose your company more carefully. You stop giving time to people who drain your spirit and start investing it in people who warm your heart. You realize that time is not truly measured in minutes, but in meaning. And maybe you've noticed something about love too. Love, after 60, grows quieter, deeper, and more generous. It's not about grand gestures or perfect moments. It's the hand you reach for in the middle of the night. It's the voice that calms your worries. It's the friend you can call at any hour. It's the tenderness that comes from knowing life is short and connection is everything. And even if life has brought heartbreak or loss, you learn that love never disappears. It transforms, it expands, it teaches, it heals. Love, in all its forms, becomes one of the great teachers of this stage of life. There is also a beautiful lesson about courage. When you're young, courage looks loud and bold. But after 60, you discover a different kind of bravery. The courage to say no, the courage to rest, the courage to walk away from things that no longer serve your soul. You find the bravery to try new things, to learn again, to start again, even when the world thinks you should be slowing down. You discover that being alive at this age is not a limitation, it's an invitation to live with intention. with honesty, with gentleness toward yourself. And with age comes the powerful realization that every season of life has its own gifts. Youth had energy, middle age had responsibility. But this stage has wisdom, perspective, appreciation. A softness that only comes from having lived, struggled, loved, lost, learned, and kept going anyway. The world may underestimate seniors, but seniors understand something the world often forgets. Life is far richer when you've lived long enough to understand what truly matters. Maybe you've also come to appreciate the beauty of stillness. When you're younger, silence can feel uncomfortable. But after 60, silence becomes comforting. It becomes a space for reflection, gratitude, and inner peace. You begin to enjoy moments of sitting quietly, thinking about the paths you've walked, the people you've loved, the lessons you've learned. And in that quiet reflection, you often find a deep, calming sense of fulfillment. Not because everything in life went perfectly, but because you made it through. You adapted. You grew. You found your way. There's also something profoundly grounding about realizing that life is not about being perfect. It's about being present. You don't have to impress anyone anymore. You don't have to meet the unrealistic standards you once felt pressured by. You can simply be yourself, freely and fully. And for many seniors, that realization brings a sense of joy they never expected. The joy of being authentically who they are. And perhaps the most touching lesson that becomes clear after 60 is that every moment is a gift. Not in a cliché way, but in a deeply felt, emotionally honest way. You begin to understand the fragility of life. You cherish laughter more. You hold your loved ones a little tighter. You appreciate the sunrise, the sound of rain, the comfort of familiar places. You stop taking things for granted. Gratitude becomes your companion. And that gratitude brings a quiet happiness that feels different from the excitement of youth. It feels steadier, deeper, more peaceful. As the years pass, you realize that life isn't measured by how much you achieve, but by how deeply you lived, how fully you loved, how kindly you treated others, and how true you stayed to your own heart. And so, if you're in your 60s or beyond, let this video be a gentle reminder that your life still has purpose. Your wisdom still matters. Your presence still lights up the lives of the people around you. You are not past your prime. You are in a season of richness, meaning, and grace. You are in a season where every lesson you've carried finally makes sense. And if you ever doubt your worth, just remember this. You are the living proof of strength, resilience, and love. You are a collection of stories the world needs. You are a treasure. You are needed. You matter. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this message touched your heart, I warmly invite you to like the video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences, and subscribe to Golden Life Inspirations. You can also share this video with someone who might need a little encouragement today. Your support helps us continue creating uplifting content for seniors everywhere.